Hello everyone, welcome to the trials video for this week. This week, the map is Midtown. Midtown is a variety of being able to snipe, also being able to hold mid-range angles and close-range angles if you know how to play the map right. It can be a little rough if people play pretty stagnant, but that's what Dominion on maps is supposed to help mitigate, is the stagnant nature of some maps. Again, it's not going to be perfect, so expect to see a lot of pulse rifles. What is the weapon this week? The weapon is the Immortal SMG. This is one of the few last chances that you have at getting a really good roll before it gets nerfed a little bit. I don't know if the nerf is actually going to do much other than make other perks other than rangefinder more desirable. Perks I would be looking out for on this weapon would be keep away. Oh, also target lock is getting a nerf, so I'd be looking for keep away, killing wind, maybe focus fury, keep away. Keep away is definitely one of those perks that you might want to be looking out for because it increases the range so much. But other perks in that slot to look out for are Detector, Perpetual Motion, Encore, Surplus. You really can't go wrong with most of the perks on this gun. Also, if you're a PvE player, this is this is the better Strand SMG. If you're looking out for that, this would be the week to go and get it. But again, until the range changes actually happen, we don't actually know what's going to happen to aggressive frame SMGs next season. As of right now, Immortal is still probably the best gun in the game. So go get your hands on it, go have fun with it while it lasts, because surely it won't last much longer, I hope. So on Midtown. Now Midtown is one of those maps where you can run into a lane immediately and die. At least it shouldn't be. So there's no like don't be that guy moments. Sure, you can be that guy and run into a lane pretty easily, but it's not as bad as Bannerfall where people consistently go and peak those death angles. Really shouldn't. So we got the two spawns on both sides, equal ways apart. There's not really any advantages to either side, except I will say most of the points are pretty enclosed in a space, so you're looking at mid-range duels most of the time. So we'll start with the low point, and as you see from the map, you want to maintain the map control in that center area. The points make this map a little harder, I will say, to control, because to really control it well, you have to be in the right positions. Just be aware where these points spawn will lead to a very slow gameplay, generally with pulse rifles and Titan barricades. So trying to remove that as a factor, either you run pulse rifles or you get to the strong positions first, which on low point might be the spawn on the right here. It might be a downhill battle from the left side because there's not an easy way to access map control. On this point, it's going to be harder unless you have a god tier sniper on your team. I would try to avoid flanks, but if you get an early flank, it could be good, but flanking later into the round might be a bad idea because it's just a long ways to go around, and it's very easy for the enemy team to spot you on the radar. Onto the midpoint, you can see the strong positions there as these tunnels. Being able to see the center point is actually hard without exposing yourself. So really a lot of the points are in tiny areas, so you should be expecting a lot of close quarters to mid-range duels, and as soon as you go to get on the point, you better have a Titan barricade or some form of deterrent to keep someone from peeking you. This one's a little bit more flank friendly. I would just not recommend going to low street. It takes so long to flank around to the low street that by the time you get around, they'll either have captured the point or they'll already see you coming. Going up top could work, but again, this map is hard to flank on, and expect really slow gameplay. This map is going to play pretty slow even with points, because generally without points, this map it probably played very similar to what it is now, just there's points now. The team fights change areas, but the fights don't really change the flow. Finally, have the top, and a lot of the positions are very similar to middle, except there's a little bit more room, and at the same point a little less room because it's on this inside here where beasts usually spawns in control, and this one's really tough. If you're inside the map control, it's really tough for anybody to get inside without either dying or taking a lot of damage and then being cleaned up by your teammates. Taking advantage of the map control and being in there first is definitely going to win you more rounds with this top position, but I will say getting into that point without somebody covering some of these stronger positions like in the hallway or watching from this angle, it's going to be very hard to actually get in there. So just be aware of that, and it's going to be a point of either mid-range duels in the shop area, or it's going to be close quarters action in the map control with Titan barricades and lightning nades. And I will say, this map is a very difficult map if you're not ready for it. Now, what about subclasses? First, we'll start off with Titan. Arc Titan is still the strongest subclass in the game, and especially on this map, there are so many walls around the points that if you try to set up with a barricade first, you're probably going to get pushed out by grenades. And most of the areas are super enclosed, so watch out for Titans with Peacekeepers. Peacekeepers are going to be really strong in this map, especially with Immortals. And then you could also run Void Titan if you want to play the mid-range game with overshields and pulse rifles. But again, I will say Arc Titan is the definite winner on this map. There are a lot of angles to set up some strong nades to either push people out of position or prevent them from pushing. And also Titan Barricade is invaluable on this map. Do not underestimate Titan Barricade. If you can put anti-barrier on anything, or any weapons that you can break barricades quick with, or grenades that you can put behind barricades or on barricades, this is the map to do it, because a lot of these points are more easily won with a Titan with a barricade. Now on to Hunters. What would I recommend on Hunters? Invisibility is going to be really hard on this map. Like I said, there's not a lot of strong flanking options that you can get away with unless you're really going out of your way. But invisibility is kind of always strong. You might not see a lot of value because again, there's going to be a lot of Titan barricades, so they have a little bit of an extra chance to react to you. And if you get caught out of position, you're probably dead. Now, the main subclass I would recommend on Hunter would be a trip mine build, because like with lightning nades on Titan, you can put it on a lot of walls and prevent people from pushing, especially with young arc Marspines. And if anybody hits it, then you get your grenade back and you can throw another one and continue the loop. It's just going to be probably one of the stronger subclasses for this map. And on to the Warlocks. This one's a little bit interesting. If you're on the outside, on the low street, you can pull a little bit of floaty lock with like a no time to explain or a long range pulse rifle or scout rifle, because there are a decent amount of long angles that you can pull, or going around over the water can be an option. But for the insides, if you're trying to float lock, I would not recommend it. The buildings are too tall. It's very easy if you're going to be shooting at anybody in there for them to know that you're floating and just immediately shoot you out of the air. But Solar Warlock is always a good option. Void Warlock will be really strong with Void Souls just to control an area or push someone out of an area. Arc Warlock might also be good because of the slide, and Arc Souls giving you a little bit extra damage. Also, don't sleep on the Threadling build for Warlocks. It might actually be really good on the middle and top portions of this map because there are so few long angles. Most of the time your Threadlings will actually reach people and either one, push them out of position, or distract them long enough that you can push them. A little tidbit about those Threadlings too is they kind of go around barricades. Now this isn't going to be the strongest option, but it is a little niche thing you could pull. Now for weapons, like I said, pulse rifles, mid-range. Pulse rifles are probably going to be your best option on this map. Pulse rifle shotguns or SMG pulse rifles, maybe a sniper if you're really good. But if the enemy team has enough pulse rifles, you're probably not going to get to snipe that much. Scout rifles also could do well on this map, but they're not going to do as well as pulse rifles, I don't think. Now, I just wanted to tell you real quick about a cheesy spot. If you spawn on the right side of the map, you can hop up on this little seal. You should see it in the gameplay. And you can see all the way down the middle point and see people trying to hop over that middle catwalk or walking through the door of the middle catwalk. A little cheesy, but be aware if you're spotted there, you probably will get killed by either a sniper or a pulse rifle pushing you out. Also, you'll be lagging behind your teammates if you stay there too long. Some notable mentions: these catwalks with these doors, don't go through them. It's very easy for enemy teams to either grenade spam you out or you to get caught out and just immediately die as you go through those doors. And that's kind of all I have for this map this week. Again, gonna be a very heavy pulse rifle map. See a lot of No Time to Explains, Graviton Lance, probably Le Monarchs, and for the point play, you're probably going to see a lot of SMGs, a lot of shotguns. There's going to be a good plethora, but I will say most engagements will be done with pulse rifles and maybe the occasional sniper, but mostly pulse rifles. And as I end this video, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. How is your week going? Are you doing good? Did you go flawless yet? Or are you looking to go flawless? I'd like to hear from you and see what's going on. You know, I enjoy Destiny PvP and I hope others do. So that's what I have for you. Thank you all. Also, I will be playing Trials this weekend and I will be streaming it at twitch.tv/greatsquatch. If you want to come and check it out, come and hang out, maybe play some Trials together. I don't know. But again, thank you.
Suicide.